From Sigma Woman, this is the Business for Aligned Women podcast. I'm your host, Clara McKay, your aligned business coach and advocate for all things showing up for your vision. This is a no BS space for brave-hearted women who are actually craving change. I'm dedicated to bringing women's visions into reality, equipping women with all they need to build an abundant future, and shutting down all of the ways that you keep yourself small. Here, we're all about a women-centered approach, non-negotiable value alignment, and making bank without compromising your well-being. Each week, you're already one step closer to your most aligned and abundant future. Welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. We're going to be talking about me helping a naturopath almost hit six figures in her second year of business, which is really abnormal. Before we get into that, I want to read a little testimonial from one of my gorgeous clients, Caitlin of To Flourish. She is a human design reader, but she is just so much more. Human design mentor, I should say. And I just think it's important for you to hear from the horse's mouth. I can sit here all day saying how great I am at what I do, and I am really great. And I have so many statistical results to prove that. But when you actually hear someone who is in your position sharing their experience, I think that's much more important. So I asked Caitlin, what would you say to anyone who is on the fence about working with me? And she said, not only will it be the best money you spend on your business this year, it will give you back tenfold in ways you didn't even realize you needed. If you're on the fence, let this be your sign. Working with Clara is an absolute no-brainer. You may come into coaching thinking you need clarity or strategy, but what you'll walk away with is so much more: confidence, momentum, and a version of your business that actually feels aligned and sustainable. Where you'll be as a business owner by the end of it will make you wonder why you ever hesitated. So leaving that one for you to mull on. And after talking about that beautiful experience that Caitlin had and talking about a couple of clients today, I am fully booked for coaching this year. So you might be like, well, I can't even book in with you, babe. What you can do though is you can access a one-to-one custom audit of your business. So this is where I get you to fill out a little form really quick, couple of minutes, and then over a 2-week period, I will go through everything in your business. I'll go through social media, website, funnels, whatever you choose. And I will record a video, which they're generally about 20 to 30 minutes long. And I will put together a really clear, actionable list of shifts and changes, tweaks, and adjustments that will make your business function better. It will make it have more sales. It will make it get more reach. And it's a way to access my custom strategic advice specifically to your business and your individual goals without you having to invest thousands of dollars. It's very affordable. Without you having to wait 5+ months to get in with me, without you having to read 5 books and do a course before you can even apply to work with me. And once you check out with your audit, you will receive it within 2 weeks. So if you're looking for some advice, I strongly suggest jumping on the audits. I've had people go, gain an extra 4,000 followers from making really simple tweaks. I've had people have 10 more sales a month from just a few simple tweaks. I've had people who've had a lot of people in their funnel, but no one purchasing, all of a sudden get tons and tons of sales because I suggested just a few tweaks to their sales page. So it's sitting there waiting for you whenever you're ready. Check out the show notes to grab them. So I want to talk about a couple of clients. I want to highlight, I guess, their case studies and their experience. And these are people who worked with me, and they've worked with me since, but they worked with me in an intensive at the very start of their business. And Brianna, who we'll talk about, actually did my Brand 101 magnetism training, and then she went into coaching. And we're working together again. And Bianca did my TikTok training, which is no longer available. If you're interested in another TikTok incubator, I would do that. If anyone's interested, send me a message to grow your TikTok in 4 weeks. And then she did an intensive, and then she also did ongoing coaching. So this isn't like a one-hit wonder. These are people who've been quite dedicated. But Brianna also did my podcasting for profit training. So they've had quite a few touch points of working with me. But Brianna shared with me that she's a naturopath. And in the second year of her business, she worked with me in the first year. And in the second year, she made all like just like a slither under six figures. In that year, she took 3 months off. And she's an incredibly intelligent, grounded, amazing woman. And I'm sure she could have worked all this out on her own, but I'd question whether she could have done it in 1 year. And we set up all the systems and all the repurposing so that she was able to take time off. I think a lot of people think the concept of taking 3 months off, let alone taking 3 months off in the second year of your business, is crazy. But if you have the supportive structures and systems set up for you, you can do that. And the fact that she made almost six figures in her second year as a naturopath while taking a full quarter off traveling and enjoying her life is nuts. The average naturopath makes $64,000 after a few years. A naturopath who's been in business for over 12 years, on average, might make $110,000. Brianna's getting almost there in her second year with 3 months off. And I also want to share that this beautiful babe was juggling 3 jobs. I'm sure she was great at all of them, but she was juggling 3 jobs and she was doing everything she could to take the best care of herself while following her passion. This wasn't an easy thing for Brianna. Like, she worked really, really hard. And now she's full-time, full clinic. And now we're like, okay, we need to get some non-one-to-one consultation income happening because she can't take on any more clients. There's only one of her. Taking a moment to invite you to consider aligned branding with me. Doing a full rebrand and refresh and elevation of your business with someone who knows your business inside out and has your success as their guiding star. Recently, one of my branding clients, Nerali, within 1 month of rebranding, she had her biggest sales month yet, and the following months after that are going up and up. She also had her biggest social reach and viral moment to date in her business, and she's booked out for over a month in advance for the first time ever in the entire history of her business. And all of this happened within 1 month of rebranding. Yes, we did do a few other little strategies, but the main shift really happened when we rebranded her social media, and we're going to be rebranding her website as well. I offer simple rebranding brand concepts, social media templates, Squarespace websites, Flowdesk emails, and I also have an everything done for you package. That's the really, really juicy one where you come to me, you get a full rebrand, and you come out of it with over 20 social media templates, all of your emails designed and beautifully aligned to your brand, your link in bio functioning the best it possibly can and looking the best it could possibly can, and a fully refreshed website with sales pages that are designed to convert. I'll even embed pop-ups all over your website. Why not? It is time to start communicating to your audience that they should be investing, that you are ready, that your brand is elevated. You can build trust, increase sales, and I have only a few spaces left for 2025. And another example that I wanted to talk about is the gorgeous Bianca, who's been on the podcast a couple of times. She's a therapist. When we first worked together, she was charging like $40 a workshop, and she was talking about scalable, like as in sliding scale pricing. So she was considering charging even less than $40 a workshop. And now she's got a fully booked clinic with aligned clients that finances her living in Europe and traveling all over Europe, having the time of her life. So the thing about these two clients is they did it by the book. They basically did everything that I suggested they do. They tweaked a couple of things to make it more aligned with them, but they really followed the processes and the structures that I have spent 6 years fine-tuning. I think a lot of people forget that. Like, I've been doing this with people with over 430 people, and every time after a container finishes, I sit down for a few days and I go, okay, let's make this better. Let's make this better. How can we fast track this? How can we make this easier for people? How can we streamline this for people? How can we give them some more hours back in their month? And they could have wasted years working out how to do it on their own. They're both incredibly intelligent women. I have no doubt they would have got there on their own. But I think just in terms of logistics of learning different things, trialing different things, experimenting different things, I think anyone, it would have been like 3 more years. So they literally, I always say with my intensives, it saves you about 5 years, truly. And I think that's reflected in these 2 clients. And the other thing is that they're not wasting their energy trying to work out things that they didn't need to focus on. So they've had someone, right now that is not your highest priority. Focus on these things first, add that later. And this is just why it's so important to set your business up properly from the get-go and to have a really strong foundation, and also to have those energy and focus management systems. They're what's going to put you ahead of your competition. And I work with a lot of naturopaths and I work with a lot of therapists, and I have had so many people come to me using Brianna and Bianca as like their highest expander, their go-to. And I'm like, oh yeah, I work with them. They didn't even know. And so I know that these people are ahead of their competition. I know that these people are standing out in their industries because everyone I talk to is using them as a reference. And another thing is if everyone is using them as a reference, they have really, really strong brand authority. And brand authority is something that's quite hard to build. But if you have these systems of being very consistent in your marketing, you can build it quite quickly. But if you're being a bit inconsistent, a bit here and there, you're not clear on your messaging, you won't be able to build brand authority. So I wanted to highlight, because I've worked with a lot of naturopaths. I quite like naturopaths. They've got a sweet spot in my heart. But I see a lot of them going, my practice didn't work. I'm closing my doors. I have to go and get a job. Or I see a lot of them finishing their degree and going, I'm going to go and get a different degree. I'm going to be a psychologist now, or I'm going to be something else now, because they can't see naturopathy working. And that could be the same in therapy as well. But if you set it up properly, it can work and it will work. And I have enough experience and literally just enough statistics to know that these formulas that I give you do work. I talk to a lot of naturopaths who are like, I've been thinking about working with you. I'm going to work with you in the next couple of years. I really strongly suggest prioritizing it, because it's going to 10x all your other efforts. Because you are very likely pouring your sacred, finite energy, time, and focus and attention into things that are maybe not the highest return on investment. And we can get everything set up, we can get everything flowing, we can get it sustainable, which I know the naturopaths like, so that you can take time off from your business in its 2nd year and still almost hit 6 figures. So honestly, what are you waiting for? If you can't tell, getting to share this time with you is something that I find truly sacred. I know that you're busy, but if you've taken anything away from our time spent together today, could you extend the love and share this episode with a friend, your community, or on your socials? Tag me so that I can see it and I can share it too. Or when you have a spare moment, leave the podcast for a review. These things cost you nothing and will mean so much to me. Let's get this resource into the hands of more women visionaries and help us collectively move towards our most aligned way of being and doing business together.